So welcome back to the channel guys and another chess video. Today in this video I'm going to show you one of my game in which I played a brilliant move, and this game which I just played a few minutes ago I was playing with the white pieces. Anyways, I started off with the king's pawn opening e4. Opponent replies with e5, knight to f3, d6. I think this is the fielder defense. Now I played bishop to c4. Now this has been transformed into the Italian game. My opponent plays bishop to g4, and now I played knight to c3. Opponent played c6. Now I played h3, trying to kick away the bishop. Bishop takes f3, and now I played queen takes f3. Opponent played queen to f6, hoping for a trade of queens. I accepted the trade and played queen takes f6. Opponent played knight takes f6. Now I just castled king side and opponent played h6. Now I played d3. Opponent played a5. He was trying to trap my bishop, and if I wasn't careful, my bishop would have been trapped. But I didn't allow the move b5, and I instead played the move a4 to stop the advance of the b pawn. Anyways, opponent developed his bishop on e7, and now I developed my bishop on e3. Opponent developed his second knight via knight b to d7, and now I played rook a to b1, idea being to push b4. Anyways, opponent played b6, and now I played b4 finally. Opponent castled king side. I played b takes f5. Opponent played b takes f5. And as you can see, I had open lines for my pieces, especially the rook. Rook on b1, I had an open file for it. Anyways, I continued with f4, trying to undermine black's center. Opponent played e takes f4, and now I played rook takes f4. Opponent played knight to e5, and now I retreated my bishop to b3. Opponent played knight to g6, attacking my rook. I played rook f to f1. Yes, I retreated my rook. Anyways, opponent retreated his knight to d7, and now I played rook to f3, idea being to go to g3. Anyways, game continued. Opponent attacked my undefended knight via bishop to f6, and now I pushed d4. Opponent pushed c5. Now I centralized my knight with the move knight to d5, and opponent played bishop takes d4. I played bishop takes d4. Opponent captured my bishop via c takes d4, and now I finally played the move rook to g3. And many of you might be asking, where is the brilliant move that you are talking about? Well, it's coming soon. Anyways, opponent played rook a to e8, and now I continued with rook to f1. Opponent played rook takes e4, which was a big blunder, because here comes the brilliant move. Rook takes on g6, and there was nasty tactical idea behind this, because if f takes g6, which was what my opponent played in the game, there is knight to f6 check, forking the knight, the undefended rook, and since it is a double check, so the king has to move. So king to h8 was forced, and now I simply grabbed the rook with a piece advantage. Meanwhile, we now both of us traded rooks, and now opponent brings his knight to e5. I played knight takes on d6, Opponent pushed g5. Now I played king to e2, and I started to bring my king into the game, because now it was the end game, minor piece end game. Anyways, opponent continued with g4, and now I played bishop to e6. Opponent played g takes on h3. Now I played bishop takes on h3. Opponent played knight to c6. I played king to d3. Opponent played knight to b4 check. I played king takes d4. Opponent played knight takes c2 check. And now I played king to c3. Opponent brought back his knight to b4, and now I played bishop to e6. Opponent pushed the g pawn via the move g5, and now I played g4. Opponent played king to g7. My opponent now also started to bring his king into the game, and I played knight to f5 check. Opponent played king to g6. And king to f6 was actually the best move, because it had attacked the bishop. But anyways, I played bishop to d7, and here the opponent played king to h7. I played king to c4. My king was marching towards the a5 pawn to simply grab it anytime soon. Meanwhile, the game continued. Opponent maneuvered his knight to c2. I played king to b5. Opponent played knight to e1. I played king takes on a5. Opponent played knight to f3. And now I played king to b5, paving the way for my a pawn, which was now a passed pawn, to go ahead and promote into a queen. Opponent played knight to e5, and in this position my bishop was attacked, and I spent almost 30 seconds. 29 is a precise time. So anyways, I moved the a pawn to a5. Opponent took my bishop, and now I just simply pushed a6. Opponent tried to stop my pawn via knight to b8, which was a blunder, and as you can see, now it's a mate in 7. Anyways, I pushed a7 finally, and it was in this position on move 46 that my opponent resigned the game, and I won. And I'm now 1387 in the rapid. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, then please share this video with your family and friends, and also do not forget to subscribe and clicking the bell so you won't miss any of my future videos. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.